What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I'm your host, Mlb. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. The first huge Saturday of college football, and I know you guys are fired up. We are too. Not to mention we have UFC, MLB, keep going down the list. NASCAR is at Darlington, the Lady in Black this weekend. It's going to be phenomenal. But before we get to that, let's take a look at how we did on yesterday. And, well, quite honestly, we finished, what, 2 up over 500, I believe. Yeah, I can't count too well, but yeah, not a terrible day, not a day to write home with a record here, but we did all right. Coach coming through with the Orioles Red Sox money line parlay. M squared coming through on the tennis as our man does. You take a look at the early edge in 5 here again. Coach coming through and prop stars. If you caught the early edge in 5 yesterday, look, me and Coach put him up on the Illinois play to have some fun, and it came, almost pulled it off, but man, what a collapse by Illinois. A good win for Indiana. But enough about that. Let's bring in the experts and get ready for today. Guys, looking sharp. First up, M squared. How we doing, sir?
Doing well, AB. Can't wait for this college football slate. We got great matches at the U.S. Open, UFC card. It's beautiful. Let's go.
Dude, I was going to say, man, like, this is your time. Between you and Micah, dude, I mean, you guys cover every single sport that we have here, and we're getting to that time where literally almost every sport is going on. Micah Roberts, speaking of, how are we, sir?
Excellent, man. Ready for this college football day. Tons of games all day, but I get like really nervous watching some of these games. And then, the last couple of games, I pushed on a couple, and I watched the whole game. So I don't know if I'm going to be sweating it out today. I already got it in. I got my work in. I've done all that. It's all ready to go. I can look at the box score the next day. Maybe it's a day to go watch a movie. Does that sound crazy?
No, it doesn't, honestly. Like, because you put in so much work. I know exactly what you mean. You put in so much work all week long prepping for it. By the time it gets here, you're like, you know what? Whatever happens is going to happen. Like, I can't affect it now. Exactly. Yeah, like, I'm with you, man. I get like that too, 100%, man. And Gambas, we got UFC tonight, but first, just looking sharp, man. How we doing?
Appreciate that. I'm doing well. We had a week off from UFC last week, so I've been itching to get back at it. I'm looking forward to today's card.
Dude, I was going to say, like, it feels like the past 16 months, like, UFC has just gone crazy in terms of, like, having, an event every single weekend, so that when we have one like last weekend where we didn't have anything, it felt weird. It's like, where in the world is the UFC? But, yeah, man, I'm with you, man. Glad that it's back. All right. Get into the storylines that affect the betting lines for today. And M squared, coming over to you first. The Mlb Weather Report. We all love it. We all can't wait for it. Hit us with it, buddy. What you got?
All right. Yeah, we got a pretty busy day, actually. 5 spots with note, and 4 of them are positive, which is a little surprising as we get into the end of the season. But Texas and Boston, Fenway Park, excellent hitting environment most of the time. Definitely true today, plus 15% across the board. The one negative going to be in Kansas City and Detroit. Games in Detroit here, minus 10% across the board. And then a few 15% boost with Oakland and Baltimore, Washington, New York Mets, and then Minnesota, Chicago White Sox also seeing a pretty heavy boost there, around 15 to 18%.
There we go, man. There we go. All right, Gambas, coming over to you. Like we said, we've got UFC tonight. Break down the card. For somebody like me who enjoys it but is not the most knowledgeable guy in terms of the sport, what are we looking at? What are the fights you like? What do you see?
Yeah, so actually it's UFC today. The prelims start at noon Eastern, so hopefully everyone woke up ready to roll today. We've got Cyril Gane taking on Tai Tuivasa. Obviously, Cyril Gane, one of the most famous French fighters. The UFC is going to Paris today, hence the early start time. He's a big favorite over Tai Tuivasa, who is a heavyweight. That's probably one of the most fan-friendly fighters in the UFC. He goes for knockouts and then drinks beer out of a shoe in the octagon. If you've never seen it, Google Tai Tuivasa shoey. So we get a knockout in France, that's what we have to look forward to. Also, the co-main event, Robert Whittaker versus Marvin, is a great fight. There's really some fights I'm looking forward to on this one.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Your boy that drinks right out of the shoe. What they call them shoeies, right? Yeah, like, dude, I'd never seen anything like it before. And I know it's not anything, brand new, but it's just funny every time that I see it, man. So I can't.
Yeah, I was at his fight in Vegas last summer, and the crowd went absolutely ballistic when he got the knockout and drank out of the shoe. It was really a sight to see.
Dude, it's awesome. Like, and what I kind of love about it is that it's almost like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like when he had his dude in the crowd, right? The dude that would just chuck the beers, right? Like, your boy's looking right after the fight. He's like, all right, where's the shoe? And dude, he just throws it like Tom Brady, like right in, boom, ready to go. It's fantastic, man. I'm telling you, I love it too. It's awesome. All right, now, speaking of Tom Brady, Micah, are we looking at a Brady downgrade this year? You got some thoughts, man. Break it down.
Yeah. I've already bet against him for the first game next Sunday against the Cowboys. I'm on the Cowboys already. But then, I'm reading the news about all the stuff that happened with the 11 days that was out. And Giselle, she's pissed. And the emotional state of somebody when your love of your life is mad at you, I think we've all been through that somewhere along the way. We don't jump up and do great things afterwards. We're kind of down emotionally. And I think this is one of those things that he might be a little down for this game, not having the support of his wife. And, she's in Costa Rica. This is what it all happened. She did not want him to come back. And so there's been arguments that have gone on all summer long about him coming back. And now that it's become a reality, apparently she just exploded and blew up. She's in Costa Rica now. So he's got to have all this on his mind and get ready for the Dallas Cowboys who are coming at him. His offensive line is already in tatters. I think it's one of those games, we've seen it before a couple times a year with Brady. He checks out and does not want to get hit. And I think this is it. And we've seen it before. If I would have known that Devin Booker was having problems with that Jenner girl against the Mavericks, I wouldn't have bet the Suns. We've seen it in movies. Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, I know it's a movie, but when did Rocky get going? It was when his wife said, go win, Rocky, go win. She didn't want to fight, go win. Same thing, Rocky 3. Once the wife came around, he went and won. And I think this is a bigger deal than I've heard people talk about, but I think it's something that matters, something you got to think about before you bet the Buccaneers and maybe entice you to bet the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Speaking of the entire Tom Brady offseason, right? Which obviously, applies to everything that you just said. You could put a 30 for 30 on everything that has gone on from his retirement to coming back a week later. You could tell that something was wrong there. Then, not only doing that, he picked up a second job after the NFL for the TV. It's just been crazy. Then Bruce Arians is gone out of nowhere. There were some crazy things that have gone on all summer. I don't disagree with you one bit on that, man. One bit at all. All right, let's get into our plays for today. But first, we have two things. First, we want to hit you with this. Got a free CBS Sports free Pick'em League here. We want you to join. Look, running it all season long this year. Compete against us by making picks against the spread. We'll provide an early edge swag pack to the winner and give shout-outs throughout the season. So when you are clubbing me over the head in the league, trust me, I'll shout you out every Saturday morning. I'll shout you out every day on the show for doing a good job. That we want you to join. Hit that QR code right there. For everybody listening on the podcast, we'll provide the links in the description so that you can play. It's free. Come have fun with us, and let's enjoy it. All right, now, before we get to our picks, take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we're back. All right, we have one play on the board for you today. We are taking Boise State plus 2.5. Look, Boise State was better on the road than they were at home last season. They were 5-1 against the spread, and they held opponents to less than 20 points per game all season long. This is hitting in 70% of SportsLine advanced model simulations. We are going to roll Boise State plus 2.5. Okay, let's get into you guys' picks. M squared, I can't do it like Coach, but you know the drill, son. Go ahead and give it to me.
All right, AB, let's hit one of the first quarter unders, our favorite play in college football. We're going Arkansas, Cincinnati, first quarter under 10.5, minus 115. I played this at MGM this morning. I've seen this number balloon quite a bit since I've played it at some of the other books, but they still have it at 115. Look, Cincinnati, we know what they're dealing with. Obviously, Ritter's gone, lost a lot on the defensive side of the football. What they didn't lose was their offensive line. They have the offensive line intact. That should help them have, or at least attempt to have, some success running the football here. We know what Arkansas is going to do. Arkansas wants to run the football down your throat at all times. I would expect that to be the same here. The questions I have for Arkansas: what do they do in the red zone? What do they do when they face third downs? Treylon Burks not there to bail them out in some of those situations like he was in the past. How are they going to adjust? I expect a very conservative game plan from them in terms of just running the football down the throat. We know that kills clock. Once again, same drill, no sense of urgency in the first quarter typically here. Love this spot. Let's go under 10.5 in the first quarter of Arkansas, Cincinnati.
Man, I love that. And I'll tell you, I think you're spot on with it. And I think both coaches are going to try to avoid making a huge mistake early. Like, they will not have a problem punting, playing field position. I'm with you. That's a great play there. All right, Gambas, coming over to you. UFC today. You've got a couple picks on us, man. Break it down. What you got?
Yeah, so first off, we're going to go with Khalid Taha minus 115, taking on Christian Quinones. Quinones coming off the Contender Series. He was a big favorite on there and actually was in a very close fight against someone who I think skill-wise is not up to the level of Taha. Taha struggles when he faces grapplers, and Quinones is a striker. I think Taha has the power upside. I think he's going to have the bigger moments here. He's fought the better competition. I like him to get it done, and you're getting it at almost a pick-em line. So Taha minus 115 is my first play. And then I have two more on the Charles Jourdain versus Nathaniel Wood fight. I, first of all, like the under 2.5 at plus 125. Surprised that this is plus money. Charles Jourdain and Nathaniel Wood both have a style that is perfect for unders. They're going to get after it, especially Jourdain really forces a fight. I personally think he knocks out Wood, which is why I'm also on Charles Jourdain money line minus 140. I think he's the much better striker here. Wood maybe has a grappling edge. I think it's going to take a more opportunistic submission rather than him just getting top time, as why I like the under as well. But you have Nathaniel Wood, who fought at 145 for the first time in the UFC in his last fight. He was, again, like a minus 700 favorite. He looked okay, but he did struggle early against someone who's nowhere near the level of Charles Jourdain. I liked 135 better for him. I think he's in for a rude awakening at 145 here by Charles Jourdain. I like Charles Jourdain to get the finish. So under 2.5 and Charles Jourdain money line.
There we go, man. There we go. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch. All right, Micah, coming over to you, buddy. Last play of the day, the most important part of the show, the Maestro spot. It is all yours, sir. Bring us home. What do you got?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a party at San Diego State. We've got a new stadium. It's called Snapdragon Stadium, whatever that is, but it sounds pretty cool. And you've got a spread that should be double digits. You're only laying 6. And you got a new quarterback. And it's not just any quarterback. He's the local high school star from La Jolla, Braxton Burmeister, and went to Oregon, transferred to Virginia Tech, and then came back here. Now, I like his running ability, but the last couple of years, San Diego State's quarterbacking has been horrendous. They've used 3 different guys, and I still went 12-2 last season, plus 11 turnover margin. Don't throw the ball a lot. I expect Burmeister to just be managing the game, controlling it, handing off, and let this big, beastly offensive line. This is like Nebraska from the 70s and 80s. These offensive linemen, they're renowned for it. So they're getting a lot of recruits, and the best recruits are coming to play offensive line. 315 pounds or higher is every offensive lineman for San Diego State. They're going to open holes. 2 seniors, a junior, sophomore, and a freshman who's 340 pounds. And then they got the defense, 6 starters back on this defense. They don't allow anybody to run. They were number 3 in the nation, allowing only 80 yards per game. And this Arizona squad, the odds makers feel a lot better about them than I do. They went 1-11 last year, minus 17 in turnovers. They brought a new quarterback in from Washington State, but I don't think they're ready yet. I like what the coach is doing there. Jed Fish, he's doing a good job, at least motivating and acting like, trying to be winners and get back to the old days. But I don't think they're there yet. The cohesion with San Diego State is what I like the most, and with Burmeister being able to just manage the game well, not turn the ball over, run the ball, just do San Diego State stuff. That's what they do. 12-2 last year. I like them to win by double digits there.
Yeah, this is a good football team, and I heard somebody, on a radio show that I was doing say, well, Arizona, they're a Pac-12 team. I said, San Diego State's won 7 of the last 9 against the Pac-12.
38-14 last year, they beat them.
Exactly. Like, they're not worried about Arizona. Like, they'll go right into the Pac-12 and beat whoever they want to play against. And, in fact, they might be running the Pac-12 in the next year or two is what we're speaking of. They're a great football team. I'm with you on that. Now, yeah, absolutely, man. Now, before we get to the full recap here, we've got the NASCAR playoffs this weekend, right? Yeah. Darlington, the lady in black. Now, bring that up because break it down. What are you looking at? And we also want to say our man Trent Wade's got a couple plays. Want to see what you think about it. We've got Ross Chastain, top 10 finish, minus 125.
Love it.
Ryan Blaney over William Byron, minus 112. Joey Logano over Martin Truex Jr. at minus 112. And then we've also got Eric Jones here. Let me say, I just lost it for a second. I'm sorry. I'll get back to it in a second, but break down the race. What you
No,
think?
I like Eric Jones. Eric Jones has won here. His first 6 races were top 10s. He won here 2018. He's got a crummy car, but he makes the worst out of this thing. He makes, lemonade out of lemons, and he's doing it every week, taking a 20th place car, finishing 9th, finishing 10th. It's done a great job, and he doesn't get a lot of credit. He doesn't have a win this year, but he's going to run well for his own namesake.
And it was not to interrupt you. It was Eric Jones top 10 plus 105. Continue.
Like it. Yeah. Let's do that. The other one, Ryan Blaney. The lady does not like Ryan Blaney. No top 5s and 11 starts at Darlington. He's one that I'm a little worried about, but he's got a chip on his shoulder because everybody's bullying him and picking on him, and he doesn't stand up for himself. So maybe this is playoff time. He struggled to get in last week, and maybe that's it. The one I like the most, that I don't know if he's been adjusted or anything, I jumped on him at 16-1 earlier in the week. I thought he should be favorite, was Kevin Harvick. And this guy is on a roll after 65 race winless streak. He's won 2 of the last 4 races in NASCAR at differing tracks, Richmond and Michigan. He's found speed. And when he didn't have speed, he finished 4th in the first race earlier this season. So Kevin Harvick, to me, is just ultimate value. I didn't even ask any of my buddies. I go, what are you doing with these odds? I mean, he should be favored here. You know it. I know it. What is the deal? So I don't understand what the books see or saw or whatever, but Harvick is the all-time leader in top 5s, or active leader, 13 top 5s, 3 wins, 2 wins in his last 6 starts at Darlington, and 812 laps led, which is all the most by active drivers except Hamlin, who has 4 wins. So you've got his history, you've got his car, you got momentum, you got everything going on. Plus, he's rejuvenated after that 65 race. That's demoralizing. And now he's got speed again. He's going to go and try to win his second championship. And I think that has value at 12-1 as well.
Beautiful, man. I love it. Thank you so much for that. All right, everybody, grab your paper, grab your pencil, take a look at the recap here. I can't speak. M Squared is on Cincinnati, Arkansas, first quarter, under 10.5. Andrew Gombas is on Khalid Taha, minus 115. Charles Jourdain, minus 140. Jourdain Wood, under 2.5 rounds at plus 125. Micah Roberts is on San Diego State, minus 6. Our site play, Boise State, plus 2.5. And take a look here at the AB3. We've got 3 of them for you because we are not missing a single sport or game. First up, we're going to go in the MLS. We're going Cincinnati, Charlotte, both teams to score minus 150. We're going Minnesota, Dallas, both teams to score minus 150. And we're going Nashville, Austin, both teams to score at minus 160. All right, now to college football. We're going Ole Miss, team total over 39.5 against Troy. We're going UNC, Appalachian State, over 56.5. And we're going Utah, team total over 26.5 against Florida. Lastly, our final 3 plays, we're going BYU minus 11.5. We're going Georgia team total over 34.5 against Oregon. And we're going the first quarter, Utah State, Alabama over 14. That is priced at minus 130. So, everybody, great show today, man. I think that's all the damage we can do. Thank you guys so much for this. And what a glorious day it's going to be across all sports. It is going to be going in full, and we're fired up. We'll be live again Sunday morning, normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern with the early edge. But until then, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.